More Heart Than Talent Radio.
Jeffery Combs, president and founder, Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. Last Tuesday, March 2019, I am here in the Golden Mastermind Seminar office sharing Facebook Live with you. So welcome to the live video. It's my privilege and pleasure to be here. I have great content for you today, as I always have great content for you each and every Tuesday. Announcements here, a few quick announcements. This Saturday, I will be in Kansas City, Missouri, one of my hometowns. I'm originally from Southwest Iowa, grew up right outside of Omaha, and also spent a large percent of my early life in Kansas City, Missouri. Lived there for 7 years during and after college. Graduate of Northwest Missouri State University. So I'll be back in my home turf at the Hilton Hotel at the airport at Kansas City International Airport, hosted by exceptional client and friend, Kaylin Hobbs. Kaylin has hosted many events for me in Kansas City, so looking very forward to it. Two of my best friends owns restaurants in Kansas City. Michael Garozzo owns Garozzo's, and Eric Sweeney owns Hayward's Barbecue. So a lot of culture for me there. Then later on in the month of April, I'll be in Palm Springs, California on April 6th for a large company event. April 13th, I'll be in Los Angeles, California with Deanna Smith. Deanna is someone I've not introduced to my database. Deanna is an exceptional personal success coach, has a great history in film, television, and also in real estate. And Deanna was a top-tier realtor for Rodeo Realty on Sunset. So she'll be sharing the stage with Brittany, Cara, and I. Brittany is an exceptional activist, mompreneur, and first-class human being, someone who I absolutely follow, admire, and love collaborating with. So that's the 13th, and then the 20th, I will be, where will I be, Ray, on the 20th? Portsmouth, New Hampshire with Abby O'Neill. Awesome opportunity. If you're in that area that's near Boston, Abby is a great team builder, has a team of exceptional entrepreneurs, multiple six-figure income earners. Then the 27th, I will be, this is amazing. I get to go to Billings, Montana. I mean, that is so awesome. Now, for those of you who've never been to Montana, it is unequivocally God's country. I mean, that I can honestly say that I've been there. It's like this. You step out and the sky is big, hence the term big sky country. So I've had the privilege of speaking in Missoula, Billings, Great Falls, and a couple other places there that is just absolutely fabulous. So very, very honored to be in Montana with Beth Henning. Beth is an exceptional team builder and has given me many, many opportunities to coach teammates of hers. So that'll be a great event. That will be a standing room only event. My book, The Breakthrough Factor, had a couple of testimonies on it this morning by a woman who said, oh my God, this is off the charts content. So if you're not taking advantage of that book, you may purchase it. I see Elizabeth Shoemaker. I was watching Elizabeth Facebook Live earlier this morning. Joan Salmons Fernandez, good to have you on the call. Michael Stroop, good to meet you in Jacksonville. My boy James Jordan, I coached James yesterday. James and I go back 10 years when he was 20 years old. So Sam Alley, oh my God, Sam Alley is on. Sam and I go back 12 years. Sam was, and then there's Raphael. So thank you all of you for being on the call today. And Lisa Pazanza, if you're watching the Facebook Live today, then this is awesome. So let's move right into the content portion of today's call of today's live. So March 30th, as I said, I'll be in Kansas City, Missouri. And here's some of the content today that I'm going to cover from that event. Today's topic is called the art of qualifying. And in qualifying means you're able to qualify people for your, and then you fill a blank in, for your time, for your business, to be your contractor, to be your collaborator, to be your vendor, to be your internet marketer, to be your internet marketing team, to be your teammate, to be an employee. I mean, qualifying is a series of questions about the outcome you seek. Now, this is a very perplexing situation for many people because they aren't comfortable. They aren't comfortable with the process of asking the questions because of the anxiety about the outcome that hasn't even happened. This is why many people have challenges with this one word, S-A-L-E-S, sales. Sales is the highest paid profession in the world, but it also creates a lot of avoidance. Because sales, I'm going to spell it out here. For many people, that's how it looks, sales. Do I have to be a salesman? I'm not good at sales. I don't like rejection. Now, here's typically why people have challenges with selling. I've got 2 words for you. Actually, 3 words: association with pain. It means that for many people, sales represents an association with pain. And the perceived pain is the pain of rejection, the pain of abandonment, the pain of regret. Now, if you associate pain with an outcome that hasn't happened, your brain will do the responsible situation and will create a placebo effect to fulfill a familiar feeling and avoid. Avoidance means you don't fail and you don't succeed, and you also end up disappointed. Now, if you're reviewing this content today, or you're watching this content and you're committed to the let go process, what you'd be letting go of is unresolved pain from past events that you bring into the present, whether it's either repressed or suppressed, and you begin letting go of your feelings, and you let go of the meaning that you attach to the past events that hinder you from moving forward in a future event. And you have to learn to execute, a key word, EXECUTE, execute. So there's implementation and then there's execution. So when you go to an event and you come home and you're excited about this event, or you saw a speaker, or you went to a Keller Williams event over the weekend and you're ready to sell real estate, or whatever it is, you're excited, but you want to be able to bring that excitement level down into a level of inspiration. So you're right here, right now. And when you're communicating with people, you're inside the conversation. So if you have a business that requires sales, branding, marketing, and other associated skills similar, then it's going to be your responsibility to understand people's predictability and why they do what they do. If you don't understand why people do what they do, then you will attract your reality, people and situations, to fulfill a set of familiar feelings. And as you begin the let go process, now you're separating your feelings. So the meaning and attachment that you used to give to rejection doesn't show up in your present. So that when you're communicating with people, you're asking them a series of questions. I do 20-minute coaching calls frequently. I've been a prospector since I was a teenager. I've been closing sales since I was a teenager, and closing is a craft. Closing is a niche. Closing is an art. And if you're not a closer, then you're a starter. And that's what many people are. They start, but they do not finish. And if you have challenges closing, it's because you have a mechanism in your head that's a story that you tell yourself over and over, that I don't want to offend someone, I don't want to get in trouble, don't want to make a mistake, don't want to say the right thing. And you have to let go of a lot of the noise that goes on. And what many people do is they make it about them, and when they make it about them, they can't sell. Well, I have a gut issue, so I haven't been taking my product, so I can't sell it. Well, Mercedes salesmen that work in a Mercedes dealership oftentimes don't own a Mercedes, yet they can sell it. They make quota. The reason they make the quota is because they understand that the pain of regret, if they don't make the quota, they're going to get fired. That's one reason. But the second reason is because they become professional at the craft of selling. And if you're not a professional, then you're an amateur. So that means you require a certain level of skills to be able to close the sales, to create the transactions, to move the conversation along. It means that you start to craft your communication style so it's conducive to the result you seek to create in the vocation you're in. Now, if you're in sales, sales is universal in some aspects, distinctly different in others. All sales have a selling cycle. Some sales takes sometimes 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year to nurture the sale. It depends on the cycle of the products and services that you are selling. If you're in a network marketing business, a direct sales business, you're selling internet products, a lot of the people that you encounter are going to buy emotionally. There's also going to be a lot of people who don't see the value. There's going to be the people who see the value, can't make a decision. And these are the people who will give you a delayed commitment, not really meaning what they say. Well, this sounds good. I'm sure you can appreciate I have to run this by my husband. What I appreciate is a man or a woman who can create a decision. So that's what I appreciate, someone who sees the value and is ready to receive the advantages of it. So what you're marketing is you're selling a dream, you're selling a benefit, a feature, a product, and a service. And if you have challenges articulating your feelings into words, that means you're going to go into fight or flight a lot. I coached a woman today when I'd coached her before, but I hadn't noticed how many times she would stop. I could start to feel how many times she would go, and so her communication style was broken. Now, she doesn't have a speech impediment, and you don't have a speech impediment. What you have is you go in and out of your head and body, and then you have start and stop in your communication, and there's no fluid movement to it. And that's just, it should be like this. The conversation should be like this. It should be fluid. And when you're qualifying people for your time, the qualification is an evaluation. You're evaluating, is this a product, a customer? Is this someone that I would want as a teammate? Is this someone that I want to bring on my team? And if they're not, you let these people go. And if you can't let these people go, then you're attached. Detachment means you care enough about yourself not to get overwhelmed about an outcome, and you can focus on the result. And if you're not focused on the result, then you're focused on everything you don't want to have happen. This is what happens. If you're not focused on that result, you're not focused on the qualification, if you're not focused on hearing what's meant, not said, if you're not focused on disqualifying the prospect, then you're focused on making mistakes, getting in trouble, saying the wrong thing, and all these other things that you don't want to have happen, that you absolutely attract your reality to fulfill your feelings. Now, Kimberly Lovelace, I see just joined. Kimberly will be joining me in St. Louis in May. She understands what I'm conversing about here. And some of you understand this because you have graduated from poser into closer. Now, a poser poses as a closer, but never really closes. These are people who have FNG on their forehead, really nice people. RNP, really nice people. That's on their forehead, but they don't have they have too much anxiety to move into the closing process. If you're a closer, you're not putting nails in coffins. You don't use a staple gun. You don't go for the jugular. You're not going through the throat, and you don't have to have a killer instinct. But if you're a closer, you understand instinctively. You understand intuitionally. You understand emotionally what a qualified buyer is and isn't. You can hear it in the tone, the diction. You can hear in the non-commitment communication style that the prospect has. You're able to tell, well, how do I? It's not a how do I. It's called this, execute. You learn the execution process. The implementation is the content you receive. It's the knowledge. But the knowledge applied is what the execution is. That's what the repetition and the experience is over and over. So that if you're shooting a free throw or a basket, it's like this. If you're in the batter's box and you're rolling the wrist, it's like this. It's the execution. It's that follow through. It's the question after questions. It's the questions in a sequence leading to the outcome that you seek. How did you find me? If I was your coach, what would you like me to assist you with? How did I attract you? Where did you find my content? I mean, these are basic questions that you ask people. Have you ever owned a business? Why would you want to own a business? I mean, there's so many trial close questions you can ask anyone. I've asked waiters, waitresses, bartenders, hostesses, people in my influence. Have you ever considered owning your own business? I'm going to nursing school. Now, I didn't ask what school they were going to. I asked if they've ever considered owning a business. That was a tell. They did not answer my question. Now, when you're prospecting, you're going to ask open-ended questions and closed-end questions. Why would you want to start a business? That's an open-ended question. How serious are you about starting a business in the next 30 days? That's a closed-end question. You're going to ask yes/no questions and then rapport-building questions. You'll ask fact-finding questions, and you'll create small talk. I covered this in great detail on an audio CD set that I produced. I started writing the content in 2007 and then delivered the content in 2008. It's a CD set called The Psychology of Asking. That's a 10 CD audio that originally was a CD set that is now available on download on my website. And it's also part of your coaching package. If you ever hire me to be your coach, it comes automatic with the downloads. And in that content, I break down systematically this process, the execution of asking the questions. And your objective is to be so skilled at asking that the art of asking becomes an art everywhere you go. You ask for a table, you ask for a booth, you ask for a round table, you ask for a square table, you ask for seat number 2C on the aisle, you ask for a seat next to the bathroom, you ask for a box seat, not general admission, you ask for what you feel you're capable of, you ask for what you deserve, you ask for You ask if there's any items off the menu. You ask if they sell Dom Perignon. Do you have it in the cellar? It means you are comfortable in asking for what you're capable of. You're asking for what you deserve. You're asking for what you want, and you want to be comfortable in this. When you have esteem, not confidence, self-esteem does not require recognition and reward. Self-esteem is its own energy. Self-esteem is self-contained, and self-esteem is regard for self. Esteem doesn't require outside love. Esteem is love, so esteem doesn't have to have love. Love can enhance love, but it's not dependent. And when you start to let go of your anxieties about outcomes, then you become detached. Detached doesn't mean you don't care, but it means you're not attached to the outcome. Now, when I was in Las Vegas Saturday, I broke down the distinctions between attached and detached. Now, we are attached to an outcome, but it may not be that specific outcome because you require results to compensate you. And you require commerce and transactions to be able to create the compounded effect. You require the money to stay in business. You require the profit to stay in business. But if you get overwhelmed easily and can't ask the questions in the sequence, then the selling process will be very, very challenging for you. Now, the art and ease of this all is in a relaxed body, in a comfortable body, in a state called consciousness, awareness, understanding, knowing, and trust. You're separated from anxiety, fear, and doubt about the outcome. You're not judging yourself because you're afraid someone else is going to judge you. I'd write content, but I don't know what to say. Well, you don't know what to say is because you're overwhelmed and you're not executing. You're not writing very short statements and very short paragraphs. You're not sitting down and on command, letting your fingers do some of your communication. That's consciousness. And you're not executing this. And this is what many people do. They don't execute. They stand behind the action process. And it's the action process that gives you the repetition and experience over and over that creates the auto suggestion so that it becomes automatic. So when a prospect says to you, well, this sounds good, you know what's happening right there because you've done this so many times that you know you're about to get a delayed decision. You're getting a commitment that's not really a commitment because the prospect is telling you what they think you want to hear because they want out of the conversation. They're uncomfortable. But if you're uncomfortable in their uncomfortableness, then you're going to have challenges being able to ask the next question because you're already worried about an outcome that hasn't happened. You're worried you're going to offend them. You're worried you're going to make a mistake. You're worried you're going to get in trouble. Any multitude of stories that you are telling yourself. Beth Henning just said, I understand esteem does not require outside love for recognition. That's very good. Now, what does that mean? It means that in esteem, it means that's you. I am comfortable with self. I don't require any outside influence to be in a great moment, to be in a great day, to be myself. I don't require a reward or a trip to feel good about myself. And I don't have to have success in a previous lifetime to feel successful today, because in esteem, I'm able to separate myself from the facts and separate myself from the past. And I know that right now I'm good enough. I'm good enough to have a conversation with anyone. And and esteem doesn't recognize rejection or abandonment. And in esteem, you're so humble that you can't be humiliated. So someone may try and throw down on you, but you just look at them and you go, is that the best you have? You don't say this to them, but you're not intimidated. You're not angry. You're not losing your composure. You're not in anger, hate, resentment, guilt, shame, abandonment, rejection, overwhelmed feelings, grief, or apathy. You're able to easily and effortlessly separate your feelings from the events that shape them. And in a mind-body connection, you're no longer the mind-body connection to those events anymore, because you've created new neurons that wire and fire in your brain from a place called understand, know, trust, and awareness. And you're in this space right now. Now that term would be you get it, but not only do you get it, but it's not a get, it's an I am state. And so I am comfortable. And when you're in that energy, you're transmuting a very relaxed presence that will oftentimes assist other people to calm down and not be so overwhelmed. I coached a woman today who said, I was so nervous about our call. I was so nervous. I'm nervous about what? An outcome that hasn't happened. I'm afraid you're going to get in my face. Well, that's a story that's already been created from a past event. I'm not going to be getting in anyone's face. I'm not a get in your face kind of person. I'm going to give you insight on why you do what you do, give you some wisdom, context, application, and a way to execute. And then the rest is up to you. I mean, that's what coaching is. Coaching is an evaluation on my own interpretation based on 60,000 hours of coaching. And then what I receive from in consciousness from the universe in 3 different spaces, where I'm in a constant receive mode where I can give you what I receive. And then the rest is up to you to be able to implement and execute. But if you have challenges executing, that's another area that I assist you in, is understand the cause that creates the effect of why you're avoiding. Now, I wrote an email campaign for 20-minute coaching, for free 20-minute coaching, and the header on the email said, avoiding success or avoiding failure. And it's the same energy. That's what many people do, is they avoid letting go. They avoid changing. They avoid recovery, because being an addict is so much more uncomfortably comfortable. And then that addict has major challenges understanding the payoff. If you don't understand why you do what you do, then you're living the payoff of why you do what you do. And even though you may not like it, in silent suffering or angry suffering or whatever it is, or noble suffering, whatever it is you're doing, you're recreating a similar situation to fulfill the feelings that you perpetuate over and over. When the pain is great enough is one way that people change. Or you can change when you're committed to changing. There's 2 options. You can change now, or you can wait till there's rock bottom. And even at rock bottom, that doesn't mean you're going to change. And even though your mouth may say I'm changing today, the proof will be in the execution. The execution is what you begin to do daily. As you begin to change a conditioned behavior, this requires focus. I mean, I understand why I do this. I know why I do this. I can admit it. I accept it. I forgive myself, and I surrender. I'm taking a longer breath cycle. I'm not in my head. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not in anxiety, fear, doubt. I am ready to be myself right now. I mean, that's what that would look like. It would be you being relaxed, executing the skills of a vocation in a very relaxed body, as cool as the other side of the pillow, not anxious and in a story about, I don't have the money to hire you. I don't have the money to do this. Create it, attract it, be it. I mean, it's not that difficult when you let go. When you are no longer the mind-body connection. Now, what does that mean? It means that you're not in a perpetual state of overwhelm based on how overwhelmed you were as a child. And now here you are 40 years old, you're still overwhelmed. It means that you're separating your feelings from those situations. You're more organized, you're detailed, you're methodical, you're systematic, you're in consciousness, you understand, you know, you're aware. You don't, yeah, but. I hear yeah, but so many times, yeah, but. People ask me a question, I'll give them the answer, and then before I even finish, yeah, but. That means they're so neurochemically addicted to a set of feelings that they're already creating excuse rather than living in the solution. Well, I would hire you, but you don't understand my situation. Well, you don't understand my situations. I've been through a lot myself. I've been through $100,000 of credit card debt with no money in the bank account and no credit left. I've been upside down in real estate debt at 1.5 million at one time. I never went bankrupt. I never missed a payment. I do understand. If anyone understands, I understand. So if you're committed to the let go process, there's a mechanism in it. And in qualifying leads for your time, it comes down to the questions. Eliminate this term, right question. It's not a right question. It's effective questions, systematically, in a sequence, asking questions to qualify prospects for your time. My name, Jeffery Combs, president and founder, Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. If you have been on the bubble and you've been considering hiring me, be the person who does that. If you've been considering it, instead of analyzing it, thinking about it, worrying about it. What's my husband, my wife, this is what a lot of people do. They overwhelm themselves. And if you've never taken advantage of one of these, this is a free 20-minute coaching session. This Saturday, Kansas City, Missouri. 2 Saturdays from today, Los Angeles, California. 3 Saturdays from this weekend, I will be in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And 4 Saturdays from this weekend, I will be in Billings, Montana. I believe it's 6 Saturdays from this weekend, I will be in St. Louis, Missouri, give or take. So, and then May 18th, I'm putting that on the books. That will be Rye Brook or White Plains, New York, May 18th. And that will take us to the Memorial Weekend. This year is going very, very fast. All of a sudden, we're going to look up and it's going to be Memorial Weekend, meaning that 5 years of the calendar month have already passed. Don't be behind the 8 ball. Be in the flow. Jeffery Combs, president and founder, Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. You have a great day.